We have 5 days until WWE Hell in a Cell, their history-making event, having not one, not two, but three matches where the title is on the line inside Hell in a Cell itself. Now, the last Raw, last night, the 24th, was kind of a few closing points as far as how this event's gonna go. Mostly, a quick recap in case you didn't see Raw. Rollins takes the list of Jericho, eventually gives it to Braun Strowman or whatever. Strowman gives it back to Jericho. Blah blah blah. We saw kind of a one-on-one match between Enzo and Carl Anderson to get, just a little preview of their match. Cesaro and Sheamus took out the New Day. Charlotte and Sasha do their contract signing. And then, of course, we had Rollins take out Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho in what was supposed to be a triple threat match. Is mostly a handicap match. So currently they're sitting with 6 matches. 4 of them, no, actually it's it's 5 of them being title matches. There's Enzo Amore, Big Cass versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. That's the one that's listed. It's not a title match. Of course, the tag team champions, the New Day versus Cesaro and Sheamus. Cruiserweight champion TJ Perkins to face Brian Kendrick. Roman Reigns, the U.S. champion, will fight Rusev inside Hell in a Cell. Universal champion Kevin Owens will take on Seth Rollins. And, of course, the Raw Women's champion Sasha Banks takes on Charlotte Flair inside the structure. Last night, according to a couple things that happened on Raw, there'll probably be a jobber match, or probably at least 2 kickoff matches. I'm assuming it'd be something like Bo Dallas versus Curtis Axel, because now Curtis Axel's getting this all of a sudden out of nowhere, a little bit of a fan base behind him. Of course, they were in Minneapolis yesterday, where he was from, so we'll have to see where that goes beyond Minneapolis. But of course, the odes to his grandfather and to his father really got a nice pop out of the crowd. So looking for him to kind of ride off of that storyline a little bit. Bo Dallas still kind of just being Bo Dallas. So I really don't see too much coming from him. I'm really intrigued with this whole Brian Kendrick, TJ Perkins, because of course we saw last night Rich Swann took out Brian Kendrick. Kendrick looked like he was so distraught, like he was not going to be able to make it through the night. Then we saw him backstage, kind of looked like he was breaking down, talking to TJ, telling him, I need this, my family needs this, and he just really looked so distraught. And we saw he kind of asked TJ like to take the fall at Hell in a Cell. Of course, we saw TJ just not respond and walk away. So, I mean, I don't think it's going to be one of those TJ's going to just lay down and let Brian win the match. I do think Brian will win that match, though. Because you got to look at it this way. Whether you love him, whether you hate him, the Wizard of Odd is a fantastic wrestler. He has a great storyline. He has a great persona. Much better than the little eccentric little midget who was running around back whenever he was with Paul London. Granted, that was a great tag team. That was an awesome tag team. I was glad that they won the titles. One of the best matches I've ever seen from them was the TLC match back in Armageddon 06, where they took out, the likes of the Hardys. I forget who else was in that match. All I remember was Armageddon 06. And I remember seeing, like, Brian Kendrick just hammering on someone. No, I think it was Regal and Dave Taylor were in that match. As funny as that was, because they were, like, so afraid to even climb the ladders. But, yeah, that's actually one of the most intriguing matches for me. Cesaro and Sheamus, of course, they're riding big momentum. The New Day have held the titles for 400 plus days. I really wish that they wouldn't drop the titles to Cesaro and Sheamus. I mean, they do have a good thing going on here between being like such polar opposites, but I would rather see a team become champions as opposed to just another Daniel Bryan and Kane. Like I did enjoy that to an extent, but this just seems like another team hell no kind of thing. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. I really hope they don't win, but I do think they probably will win this. So the Roman Reigns and Rusev was kind of nice because there really wasn't any face to face tonight. So it was just like both of them doing their little promos. So at least in the show sense, it was good. We didn't have to hear too much of Roman on the mic. Really nothing from Rusev. Just how he's gonna crush Roman, this and that. So this match, of course, dating back to I think it was like over a month ago. Just this has been kind of my least favorite storyline of all the matches here. I don't know. Roman Reigns just, I mean, he's getting better. He's growing on me now. I can't say I hate Roman Reigns. I just really strongly despised him when he was feuding with Seth Rollins because Seth Rollins, at that point when they were really feuding, he was gold. He was gold. He was great on the mic. He showed up in the ring, and it looked like he was kind of carrying Roman in that match. But I mean, Seth Rollins, he could make a ham sandwich look good in a match. So I think with Rusev, it's a different story. Rusev is not exactly at the level that Seth Rollins is at as far as, you know, being good on the mic, just being so well rounded, not only as a wrestler, but as his persona as well. So I think this is kind of one of the yawn matches. I think it will be, a very physical match. Two big guys going at it inside Hell in a Cell. Of course, now that it's going to be a 3 Hell in the Cell match, I don't think we're going to see any of the ones like we did before, where it was like people going through the roof, people going through, the actual ring itself. Because remember, that structure has to last for 3 Hell in a Cell matches. And if it's Sasha versus Charlotte that's headlining, I'm not sure if that's headlining or if it's Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. I think it's Sasha and Charlotte. They're obviously not going to have Charlotte and Sasha throwing each other off the top of the 20-foot cell or throwing them through the ring or pulling a Mick Foley and getting thrown through both. So, but I do think it will be a really physical matchup. Steel chairs, steel steps, this and that. Same with Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. I don't think the Sasha Banks and Charlotte will have that kind of physical. That's actually another match that of course, everybody's looking forward to that match. It's the first time that it's ever going to be a women's Hell in a Cell, and it's going to be for the Raw Women's Championship. So Raw completely went up and above on this. They have the 6 matches. It's probably going to be Bo and Curtis in the pre-show. Probably could be like Sami Zayn and Braun Strowman as well, because of course they're having a little bit of a feud. I really didn't expect like Sami to be the one feuding with this, quote, this big bad Braun Strowman. So I'm a little kind of distraught on that. But I'm gonna make for the 6 matches they have right now. I'll make a slight prediction on it just to see if I'm still good at this guessing game. I am gonna take Enzo and Cass over Gallows and Anderson. The crowd's really behind Enzo and Cass, and they really have been a lot over these last couple months. I do see WWE kind of riding off their coattails for a little bit longer. Although don't be surprised, if Gallows and Anderson get the win, which of course, with heading into the next match, Enzo Amore and Big Cass seem like they would actually be the favorite to win because that would kind of boost them up the rankings as far as tag teams, which the Raw Tag Team Champions, The New Day, take on Cesaro and Sheamus. I do have Cesaro and Sheamus winning that match. I think they'll, in time, feud with Enzo and Cass. Maybe give Enzo and Cass the titles. With just how much that they're getting over with the crowd, and they're good wrestlers in their own right. They're still very young. can grow into that main event role. TJ Perkins and Brian Kendrick. This is a toss-up match because TJ Perkins, huge fan favorite, loads of potential, very young guy, versus the Wizard of Odd himself, Brian Kendrick, who's been in this company, uh, who has been in this company on and off, more off than on. But I think as far as champions are concerned, there's Sasha Banks, Roman Reigns to an extent, TJ Perkins, The New Day. They're pretty much faces, with the only true heel being Kevin Owens. So I wouldn't be surprised if they gave Kendrick the belt, because I feel like the Cruiserweight Championship is going to be one of those, like, the longest anybody holds it is like 1 to 2 months. Nobody ever holds it like longer than that. At least not yet. They're going to kind of job it around for a bit. Roman Reigns and Rusev, I really just want the storyline to end. I haven't been a big fan of it since it came out. I do think both of them need kind of something else to boost their career a little bit. I do have Roman winning it, though, because, I mean, of course, WWE's going to be riding off of Roman a lot more. Since he's not in the big title picture, they're going to have him just kind of run through everybody that's in the middle of the pack. Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. This is another real intriguing moment, because, of course, we saw last night Seth doing a really cool double pin on Kevin and Jericho, which could lead to a lot of things. It could lead to kind of the turmoil of Team Kevin and Chris, or Team Chris and Kevin, whichever you look at. Obviously, tension's been building there for a while with the list. Jericho can maybe cost Kevin the title, and this could lead to a Jericho Kevin Owens bit of a feud. Kevin could just outright beat Rollins. Jericho could just straight help Kevin Owens beat Rollins, and then end up possibly feuding in the future with Kevin Owens and Jericho. That'd be cool to see. So that, I am going to put a big question mark on that prediction, because I really don't know. It's so many different things could happen. And then, of course, the history being made with Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair inside Hell in a Cell. Of course, now that Charlotte doesn't really have Dana too much, I think Charlotte's just going to be, I wouldn't say like top tier, because she's been top tier ever since she came into the business in NXT. She's been top tier, but I think as far as the Raw Women's title goes, or as far as the Women's Championship goes, Charlotte running it, I don't know. It's a story we've seen so many times, and we saw it for so long. Sasha Banks just seems to wear the title better. I think she is just the perfect cutout for it at the moment. Of course, Charlotte's probably going to get it back at some point. I don't think it's going to be this early, because Sasha, of course, remember, she ended up losing her title early, due to her injury. But now that she's back, I think WWE is going to give her legitimate run that they were expecting her to have. So at least in this case, my vote will go to Sasha. But of course, anything can happen. More matches could be added in. It's going to be a really interesting show, so we definitely can't wait to watch it. Let's see, is there anything else? No, I think I got everything pretty much covered from that pay-per-view. So thank you for sticking around and watching this video. As always, you can give us a follow on Twitter. Actually, I'm going to have to change that, and I'm going to change that right now. It's actually our new email, or I'm sorry, our new Twitter is the Archive NA. Don't really want to do this on air, but I really don't have much of a choice. So the Archive NA is our new Twitter. Our email is still thegamersarchivepodcast@gmail.com. If you have any kind of feedback, any comments, anything that you'd like to see, shoot us on our social media. We thank you for watching this episode, and we hope you have a great day.